What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Today, the Black Dragon disciple Michael Baker wants me to stat out the Migo from Bestiary 4 as a player race. Yeah, alright, we're doing it. We're diving straight in. Our first ever official homebrew race. If you guys have any requests, as always, throw them in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you in part by Kendall Carson. Thanks for all your time and support, my friend. It means the whole world. Now, let's build a monster race. So, the Migo are a fictional race of extraterrestrials created by H.P. Lovecraft and used in the Cthulhu mythos setting. The word Migo comes from Migu, a Tibetan word for Yeti. These things are fungus-based life forms, which are extremely varied due to their prodigious surgical, biological, chemical, and mechanical skill. The variants witnessed in The Whisper in Darkness look like winged humanoid crabs. Their appearance in The Whisper in Darkness is considered an elaboration on earlier references to fungi from Yuggoth, and ever since then the Migo have appeared across a range of media set in the Cthulhu mythos up to and including Pathfinder. In Pathfinder, the Migo is both a scientist and a colonist, extraterrestrial travelers from the dark tapestry, that means space, who view the universe as a canvas to be mastered and controlled. Their numbers on any particular planet can vary, but taken on a galactic scale, that's new for this channel, these numbers can only be mind-numbing in scope. A typical Migo is roughly the size of a human, but weighs only 90 pounds. So there you go for our stats. These guys are anywhere from 5 to 6 feet tall. I don't even know how to classify gender on a Migo, or how long they live, or when they come of age. So we're just going to leave that up to you and your interpretation of the Cthulhu mythos. In Pathfinder, the Migo communicate via a combination of clicking of pincers and subtle shifts in the coloration of their bulbous heads. Other creatures can learn their language, and Migo is truly a language in Pathfinder, but without similar biologies or the ability to mimic these noises and colors and stuff with illusions, they can only hope to ever listen to a Migo. The Migo, of course, can speak in a strange, buzzing voice, but generally only does so when forced to speak to other creatures. The Migo are a master of surgical and biological technologies, so much so that it incorporates the magical. The techniques these guys use in their pursuit of world colonization manifest in a wide range of strange and frightening tools. These devices merge magic and technology in strange and unsettling ways. For example, if this thing makes you a cloak of resistance, it might be made out of bits of random hairs collected from random humanoids, or the skin literally off the back of your best friend that it shaved off with its creepy little insect claws to, make sure you're warm at night and help buff your saves. How kind of it. Alright, so let's get down to the stats. I'm not gonna list the RP cost on this guy because it's gonna be astronomical. There's a lot of stuff going on in this guy's entry that doesn't even have, mechanically, an RP cost in the Advanced Race Guide, to say nothing of its plant type, which gives it a whole lot of immunities, and as such is a very, very costly type to have. If we take their 7 hit dice, roll them down to 1 hit dice, and remove any ability score adjustments we might see there, I would say the Migo receives a +2 to Dexterity and Constitution, and has paid extra to have a +4 to its intelligence with no neg stats. It's a medium plant creature with a speed of 30 feet and a fly speed of 50 feet with good maneuverability. Now, as a plant creature, that means the Migo possesses low light vision, immunity to all mind-affecting effects, charms, compulsions, morale effects, patterns, and phantasms, immunity to paralysis, poison, polymorph, sleep effects, and stunning. In addition, it breathes and it eats, but it doesn't sleep. The Migo also has DR5 over slashing, it's immune to cold, and resists 10 points of electricity and 10 points of fire. In addition to its low light vision, Migo also possesses blind sight, not sense, sight, out to 30 feet. Down to the special abilities, the first one we see is Deceptive. Amigo is a master of deception and gains a +4 racial bonus on bluff and disguise checks. Bluff and disguise are always class skills for the Amigo. Amigo has 4 claw attacks, which deal 1d4 points of damage, and allow it to try to grab onto you. Amigo has no breath, which means that it does not breathe. It's immune to effects that require breathing, like inhaled poison, and, can function in a vacuum without dying, which is probably how they fly around space all the time. Amigo also receives a +4 bonus to its natural armor. Scary Fungus Plant Boy also has an ability called Evisceration. Amigo's claws are capable of swiftly and painfully performing surgical operations upon helpless creatures or those it has grappled. When Amigo makes a successful grapple check, in addition to any other effects caused by a successful grapple, it deals sneak attack damage to the victim. A creature that takes this damage must succeed at a DC 18, or 10 plus half your level plus dexterity for a PC, fortitude save, or take 1d4 points of ability damage from the invasive surgery. The ability damage is chosen by the Amigo at the time the evisceration occurs. On the subject of sneak attack, the Amigo does 2d6 sneak attack damage. It has 7 hit dice in its monster entry. Much like the Slayer, Amigo does sneak attack damage equal to 1/3 of its total hit dice. Amigos also possess the ability to create strange items that blur the line between magic and technology, given the time and resources. This ability allows Amigo to ignore all of the item creation feat requirements and spellcasting requirements for creating magic items, and they can use the heal skill to craft Amigo technology, which is anything they craft with their creepy item creation powers. When Amigo uses this ability to craft an item, it must use a larger amount of strange ingredients and expendable resources, which effectively doubles the GP cost to create the item, which means that the Amigo is creating items at market price, not half off, like the other item crafters. Lastly, the Amigo has an ability called Starflight. Amigo can survive in the void of outer space, flying through space at incredible speeds. Although exact travel times may vary, a trip within a single solar system normally takes 3d20 months, while a trip beyond normally takes 3d20 years, or more at GM discretion, provided the Amigo knows the way to its destination. So, okay, right there, these guys are probably super immortal, then, if they can just jump off Galarion and fly their way to wherever it is they want to go in 3d20 years. That's 60 years that it might be hanging out in space getting lost horribly, or even 60 months to fly from Galarion to, say, Castrovel or Triaxis or any of the planets that are really close. Now, again, this guy is worth a lot of RP. If we're talking in terms of the advanced race guide, way more than one would normally allow, most likely, in a given game of Pathfinder. But I'm a big fan of letting players in Gestalt games who don't want to play a Gestalt character because they don't want to micromanage it, play something powerful like this, or play a creature with a template on it, or something like that to balance it out. And the Amigo might be the race that does that. Now, I've used Amigo as monsters in encounters before. That's how I put the Fey template on a Gripply Magus at one point, was to literally graft the wings on to be a little frog with butterfly wings and stuff. But as a PC, I don't even know where to begin. It's definitely a really weird thing to have in the setting, and there's only, to my knowledge, 3 races that appear in Pathfinder from the Cthulhu mythos, and we've covered the Yidithian a long time ago. If you want to get caught up, follow this card right up here. The other 2, the Being of Ib and Deep One respectively, are on the list, and hey, we'll get there. But this guy definitely slots in as something to play in a campaign like that. I will also say that Amigo has a pretty good place in a party as an item crafter. The fact that the Amigo can cheat the item creation rules and can make stuff without having spells, without having any item creation feat requirements, like caster level or anything crazy like that, means that this guy can churn out powerful magic items really, really early on. Of course, it costs the normal gold price instead of half, so it's fair. But if your players can get a hold of gold and give it to this guy. He can make end-level stuff a lot faster in terms of campaign progression than your average item crafter, which is super powerful. And that's what I would do, I think, if I were to play a Migo. I think I would have my particular Migo get lost in space, land on Galarian, land probably actually on its head on Galarian, and forget what it came there for, everything other than the fact that it can make technology magic, survive in space, and mechanical stuff, and get found by a group of adventurers, traveling priests of a not colonize your world and experiment on you kind of faith, and have the thing grow up from there. It's also probably super fascinating to any druid that venerates plant creatures because this guy's not an aberration, he's a plant, which is an avenue of roleplay that we very rarely see, especially on player characters. But what do you guys think about the Migo? Would you play something this powerful in your games, or as a GM, would you allow your players to play something this strong, capable, and able to fly through space? On that subject, how have your games gone in fantasy settings that go to space? Because Pathfinder does have a lot of content, not on Galarian, that I'm kind of itching to explore, to tell you the truth. But that's neither here nor there. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we do a little bit of a pivot and not cover a race, but cover, rather, a template, specifically the element-infused template, drops next Monday.